Hello and welcome to the next video of my LPL Spring 2023 preview series. We're going to cover top esports. Going into this spring, I think top have the potential to be the winner in spring over JDG. They're a very good team with 3 former world champions on it. Last year, top went 25-7, dropping out in group stage at Worlds, being the LPL team that fell on the sword, which is the group that DRX was in. LDL team 24-16. The coach is Crescent. Crescent is 120-95 as a coach, coaching since I believe 2015. The only change to this roster is in mid lane. Rookie in place of Knight. So they have swapped out a guy that has struggled to get over the hump for somebody that has. Going into this year, the team is 22.6 years old. Wayward is in top lane. At 21 years old, he's the youngest player on the team. There were times last split where he actually was benched at the end due to lack of effort. 3-4 KDA, 8-4 CS per minute, 52-4 KP. He is very talented. I remember in spring, afterwards, I considered him to be one of the better top laners in the East. He did not, he had a solid split in summer, but he did not dominate quite like he did in spring. 479 damage per minute, 21.6 damage share, 21.4 gold share. 9 champions, 36 games. Gwen, Sejuani, and Gnar are his most played. Let me try and get better on this screen here. I am kind of hanging out here. There we go. There we go. That should be a lot better. So Gwen, Sejuani, and Gnar, pretty standard champions. Now, the substitute on this team is King Tien. At 20 years old, King Tien put up, these stats are from 2021, so 2 years ago in the LPL, when he was 18 years old. 2.7 KDA, 7.8 CS per minute, 55.3 KP, so lower end of things, losing lane more often than not. 437 damage per minute, 20.4 damage share, 21 gold share, 11 champions, 28 games played. Set, Renekton, and Lee Sin, so we're definitely talking about another meta, right, with Set and Lee Sin as your top 3 champions. Now, behind them is Jesus Christmas. Behind them is Aspire. I kept almost saying Inspired. That was my problem. So Aspire is 19 years old and put up very good numbers in the LDL last split. 459 KDA, 858 CS per minute, 49 KP. So we don't see a lot of sub 50 KPs from summer. We saw it in spring because of a split push meta. This guy continued to split push throughout summer. He was like, I'm not fighting with you guys more than half the time. Wasn't involved. So that's why his farm is so high. 531 damage per minute, 21.5 gold share, only 6 champions played in 32 games. And the champion pool is odd. Aatrox, standard. Vladimir was his second most played, and then Kennen, which it was off meta this past year, but it was there, right? We know Kennen is always somewhat relevant, but Vladimir not so much. So an interesting champion pool out of Aspire. Tien in the jungle, the MVP from summer. I thought Kanavi was the MVP, but Tien was. Some people think Tien's a choker, but I think once you win, you can't choke because you didn't choke. So, 22 years old, 4.3 KDA, 5.7 CS per minute, 66.9 KP. A little more carry-oriented than I thought. I see him more of a facilitator when I see him play, but not as involved as I thought he was. 310 damage per minute, 13.9 damage share, 18.3 gold share, 7 champions, 38 games played. Viego, Wukong, and Trundle were his 3 most played champions. Behind Tien is 8. 8 is not going to put any pressure on him. Only a 3.5 KDA, 5.26 CS per minute, 68.5 KP. So at a lower level of play, he's losing 1 farm every other minute to Tien. So I would say that at the LPL level, he would be even worse. 353 damage per minute, 18.4 gold share, 7 champions, 32 games played. The same 3 champions, Trundle, Viego, Wukong being the most played. So clearly top esports champion pool-wise in the jungle was consistent across the board. The third string jungler did not play last year. Nayu actually has some pretty good numbers from 2021. Definitely a more carry-oriented meta, though, if we recall. 607 KDA, 611 CS per minute, 69.3 KP. I mean, those are pretty good numbers. 384 damage per minute, 20.4 gold share, 5 champions in only 13 games played. Xin Zhao, Lee Sin, and Diana were his most played. So Diana definitely the giveaway there, right? In mid lane, we have Rookie. At 25 years old with Victory 5, he had a late start to the split after going home to Korea to deal with some family things. And then after the season, he had surgery. And I wonder if that surgery, the injury, the issue he had surgery for affected his play. Because these numbers aren't great, right? 5.9 KDA is great. Victory 5, in my opinion, Dream played very well. We'll get into Ninjas in Pajamas now, because that's the name of the team. At the end of these previews, because their Leaguepedia is still all over the place. But nevertheless, this is about Rookie. I felt like the mid lane wasn't all that impactful for Victory 5, or Dream was just that good, but nevertheless, 5.9 KDA is good. 8.2 CS per minute, not really. 71.4 KP. Now we look at Rookie's champion pool at the end, and it makes a little more sense why he gave up some farm and roamed for over 70 KP. 637 damage per minute, 26.1 damage share, 21.8 gold share. So gave up a bit of farm, sub 22%, to get secondary damage numbers. 637 damage per minute is 100 more than a lot of mid laners we're seeing. 8 champions in 23 games played. Talia, Silas, Azir. So the Talia being the most played kind of gives it away, right? 10 NG is the backup. Above average at the LTL level. We'll see if they can keep it up in spring. 488 KDA, 859 CS per minute, 62.2 KP. So 859 on average. He's winning his lane. He's not as active as Rookie, but at the same time is doing his job, not dying a lot. 535 damage per minute, 22 gold share, 10 champions, 32 games. Talia, Ari, Azir. So, standard champion pool there. Behind him is Wang Zhao. Wang Zhao is a player that didn't die a lot in 2021. These stats, like I said, from 2021. 887 KDA. Guy didn't die. He was a KDA player. Why do I say he's a KDA player? Because he's got under 8 CS per minute. So when push comes to shove, he's like, I'm going to go under my turret. I'm not going to get involved. He's the opposite of Chovy. Chovy is like, I want the farm. I don't care if I die. This guy's like, I don't want it. I'll just recall on my own. 63.5 KP, 513 damage per minute, 21.4 gold share, 14 champions, 35 games. Definitely a champion pool from 2021. And even then, I still feel a little out of the box. Rise, standard. Set, we're getting there. That's pretty random. And then Viego was his third most played champion in mid lane. Bot lane, we have Jackie Love, one of the best 80 carries in the world. 22 years old, 5.3 KDA, 8.7 CS per minute, 68.9 KP. Left a little bit on the table, in my opinion, in summer. These numbers indicate that. Definitely, he had some great outplays that remind you of what Jackie Love is at his best, but at the same time, he is a mixed bag. There's a little bit of int to his game. 68.9 KP is pretty good, though. 723 damage per minute, 31.5 damage share, 23.9 gold share. So the 31.5 damage share is hefty. That is clearly a carry damage share. 11 champions, 38 games. Ezreal, Aphelios, Zeri. So the Ezreal being his most played champion. Jaiq is the backup at 18 years old. Definitely will not be putting pressure on Jackie Love. 486 KDA, 825 CS per minute, 72.2 KP, 735 damage per minute. That is a lot of damage. 24.5 gold share. So despite 8.25 CS per minute, he got enough kills to make up for it in the gold. 8 champions, 32 games. Zeri, Aphelios, and Samira. So third most played champion is Samira. That's interesting. I was thinking back. I think I missed something before that I was supposed to mention that I didn't. Maybe it's going to be in here. It is. It's going to be in the supports. At support, we have Mark. I don't think he retired. I know he said that he might, but I don't think he did. 23 years old, 6'1 KDA, 71 KP, 11 champions, 38 games. Braum, Leona, TK. The opposite of Missing. So Missing embraced the Enchanter meta, did really well with it. Mark, not so much. I mean, he dabbled, but overall, the entire split, 3 most played champions were Engage. Behind him is Niket. Niket took the job in summer as a starting support in the LDL, 19 years old, 381 KDA, 72.6 KP, 9 champions, 27 games, Nautilus, Braum, Rakan. So the Engage support situation for top to bottom throughout the depth chart. Sarasus is the support that's listed as a starter but didn't play in summer, played in spring. Well, played a bit in summer, but I assume lost their job, like I just said. But Sarasus, 234 KDA, 68.9 KP, so these numbers aren't as strong as Nicket's, which is why he would lose the job. 9 champions, 37 games, Tom Kench and Nautilus being the most played. 25 of the 37 games he played were on these 2 champions. So definitely a Tom Kench and a Nautilus handshake enjoyer, which is probably why he lost the job. I mean, in draft, they're probably like, well, we want to do something else. He's like, no, Tom Kench and Nautilus. So top, I think, are the team in spring that's going to give JDG the most trouble. I think this jungle, mid, and bot trio here are experienced enough to get the job done at a high level. I think that this is going to be definitely a high octane team that's going to compete for a world slot. For sure, they are in the great category if you watch my LPL tier list video that came out a couple days ago. So comment down below with your opinion on top esports. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube member. And thank you for watching.